Hey everybody, today I'm going to go over the RMX and drop point. We got two blackouts here. I purchased one of these and then my brother actually bought me one for Christmas, so I ended up with two. So I listed one for sale, and the one that's for sale, I just swapped the pivot out for Jared. Jared asked me to do that, and so thanks Jared for making this purchase to support my channel. Yeah, everything here I pretty much buy and have to sell on Blade Binge just so I can afford to purchase more knives to review them. But today I want to go over the RMX itself as a knife, and then the pivot swap. I'm going to actually do a pivot swap, show you some tips, so you can fast forward to that if that's what you're here for. But I will get into detail on mistakes I've made. It is very easy to destroy the pivot spring if you are not careful. I'm going to actually be hitting up Work Sharp to ask them if they can send me more springs, because I had to take some donor springs, from one of these knives to fix the one that I ruined twice. So anyway, I'm going to give you those tips so you can avoid that. And then, yeah, let's talk about the knife. The knife's amazing. If you don't know about the RMX, it is a Work Sharp knife. It is either a button lock, so you can just use the button and swing it open. It's like, I think it's 2.5 ounces, integral, one piece of milled magnesium, Cerakoted. This is the blackout version. These are really, really cool. Somehow it just feels a little more different and premium than the original, but I know it's probably same materials. it just seems like it feels better in the hand. So I'm super excited to have one in my pocket. The pocket clip is phenomenal. It's got great ramping. It's short, it's strong. It does the job very, very well. The blade is M390, and it's just a perfect handle. It's super lightweight. The grip here is great when you choke up. The finger choil, everything just feels phenomenal about this knife. Clip points I think are really cool looking blades, and probably one of my favorites, but this drop point is just so functional. The tip and the tail, it was just a straight line through the pivot here, so everything is very functional, ergonomic. You've got the blade protruding enough to be able to get really lower cuts, like if you're cutting tomatoes or something like that. Not that that's what this knife was made for, but if you're out camping, you're going to use your knife for everything. So overall, this is an amazing knife. This one is converted to an auto. The spring has been a little beat up. I'd have been one of the springs back. But yeah, we'll get into that. Overall, the knife's phenomenal. Got some jimping on the back. The grip is amazing, and it's so lightweight. It's I think one of the very few magnesium handled knives out there, and fully milled integral, which just gives it a great feel, lightweight. Everything about this knife is amazing, except for that pivot process. So I swapped this one out for Jared. We've got it good to go. So I practiced on this one for a while. It took me about an hour to just kind of remember how to do it. And so the auto I think it's a perfect auto as far as like the strength. It's not like going to jump out of your hand because it is a lightweight knife, but it's got definitely enough to just get it out there and open it up. It does come originally with bearings on both sides. So you see here, this one has bearings on both sides, and I'll show you the bearings in the back here. So the bearings are in there. They give you an extra set of bearings, but this pivot with the button lock, if you're in a state where you can't have an auto, it's perfect. And then if you leave the state or you want to be at home and play with the auto and not have to risk, getting in trouble with the law enforcement, you can go to the auto pivot. So the button lock itself is super smooth. But yeah, so I'm going to swap out the pivot on mine today. I just did this one just so I'm very versed and remember how it works and some tips. So let's go through that. So I'll set these two aside for now here. And what I'm going to show you is I am by trade a photographer, and I do a lot of video as well for myself. And so I have lots of gaff tape. You can use painter's tape, but gaff tape's nice because it doesn't leave residue. So I'm going to start out with putting a small piece of tape on the actual back side of the pivot right here. So that way the pivot doesn't come out. I'm going to sit right on that side of the screw, and I'm going to adhere it to the handle. When I come around this side, I'm going to put some tape over the button. And I'm going to stay off of the pivot so they don't get in the way. All right, so that there is nice and secure. You can pinch it out like that, so it's not a lot of excess. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tape, obviously, cover the blade, because these are extremely sharp. These come from a sharpening company, so we know that they are razor sharp out of the box, and basically like a mirror polish. Another thing about this particular standard RMX in front of you there is I took that camping and I gave it to my brother. And I don't know what he did with it. I think he was whittling. So there's like all these markings on it. And maybe he can leave in the comments, Atlas Outdoors, what did you do to this knife? It just got dirty. It's still really sharp. But yeah, it looks like he was cutting up some wood or something. I don't know. But it held an edge wonderfully. M390 is great. All right, so now we've got our blade taped up so we can't hurt ourselves. I like to have a little excess here just in case if I do hit myself, it's not going to cut through but we've got that there. So next step, you're going to take your tool. Your tool has a little Allen in here, and then you've got a magnet on this side. Okay, and then on this you have a little indicator. You have an arrow. You have 1 notch and 2 notch. Okay, so we'll get into that. Actually, I'll just show you now. So on here inside, it's going to be hard for me to get this completely detailed. Let's see, because this is a dark one. You have 2 notches in here. And so notch 1 and notch 2 are going to align with 1 and 2. So I'll just show you now. I've got notch 1 and notch 2. I'm not sure how well this will show up, but you'll see those little indicators in there, notch 1 and notch 2. Okay. And the arrow will align opposite of the spring here. Okay. I'm going to want to pull this screw out too. I'm going to give you an extra screw. It's in here already. Okay, set that screw aside. Okay, so I'll take my tool, I'll take my Allen, and I'm going to remove the pivot screw. I'm doing as much as I can on camera here. Hopefully it's in focus, but dark. You know what I'll do? I'll put this right here. That might give you a little contrast. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take the screw out. If you want, you can use the new screw because it does generally come with some Loctite on it. They both do have some Loctite, but yeah, we'll go with the new screw just because it's in there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over. Okay, we've got the bearing, just regular button lock pivot. We're going to take this magnet on here, and you can use that magnet to remove that, and then make sure you get that bearing out of there too. Set that aside. And now that we've put tape on the back side of this, okay, this will not fall out. Because if this falls out and your blade falls out, your spring is going to pop out from your button. So we're preventing the button from popping out with the tape. We're preventing the back pivot to fall out with the tape. So push that button down. You want to go, I think it was like a 45-degree angle, right about there. Okay, and set that down. Then we're going to take our tool with the magnet, and we're going to align those notches. Got the 2 notches on the inside, and then number 1 and number 2. I'm going to swear to you guys, I've had to watch this video multiple times in slow motion. So don't be afraid to slow this down, at half speed. And yeah, anyway, all right. So now we've got this spring here. What you're going to want to do is be very careful to get this spring inside this little notch inside of the pivot or the blade. So the blade itself has a little notch inside here. You want to make sure that sits inside. If it doesn't get in there, then it can get crushed and bent back. And I've done that twice. Okay. So you're going to take that little piece and you're going to shove that little piece and make sure it goes into the hole in there. Okay. And at this point, you're going to put pressure on. You're going to keep pressure the entire time until that screw in the back is all the way in. So I'm going to push down, and I'm going to go all the way to my second notch, 1 notch, 2 notch, okay? Now I'm going to remove the tool very carefully. I'm going to hold this down as best I can, okay? Hold it down really hard. At this point, your blade has already come up and locked, okay? So I'm going to hold this down with lots of pressure, turn it over, put my screw in there, okay? And then I'm going to screw this in extremely tight, okay? All the way down, keeping that pressure on the back as hard as I can, because if you lose that pressure and that spring falls in there, you're going to crush the spring and then you're going to ruin it. So, Work Sharp, you guys should probably give us 4 springs because we're all idiots. Well, me, myself. All right, so that's very tight in there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tape on here, just enough to depress my button, make sure that button works. Okay, push down. Okay, it's too tight, so I'm going to back it off. It's very easy to get this too tight so it doesn't function at all. So it is an integral, so you can't really squish it. So don't worry about that. Okay. Okay. Got the tension there. I think that's feeling pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it all apart and hope for the best. If I did this on round 1, you guys should all give me a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe, or just applaud, because I'll tell you what, I spent 1 hour trying to get one perfectly done. So, okay. Oh my gosh, I did it. Goodness, it's if you've done this and you've gotten frustrated, hopefully this helps you. If you've done this and you've not gotten frustrated and you did it perfectly the first time, congrats on you. You're a better person than me. So anyway, these are amazing knives. I'm super excited to have a blackout version because I don't know how to describe it. It feels different. It feels more premium. It has like this matte coating on it. But they're both amazing. I want to say they're both the same price. I got this one on drop 3, and I just got lucky to get this one. And I guess my brother knew that I wanted one because I told him about them. And so he had purchased me one for Christmas. And yeah, so very cool. So Jared, one of these is this one right here will be going out to you. Yep. And so they're both brand new. But yeah, this one will be going out to you. And yeah, thanks for watching. And hopefully this was helpful. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. And Work Sharp, good job. This thing's rad. Just give us some more springs. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.